The ultimate luxury unboxing is your success. The role of a nurse practitioner. Success, I diagnose. No, I am not a PA, I am not a physician, I am a nurse practitioner, master's prepare or doctorate prepare. It's a very fast track program, very intense, and he was like my number one supporter. A lot of college, I feel like, is self-taught. People don't talk about this enough. It's one of the happiest days of my life. My nurse practitioner degree was way easier than my undergrad degree. Study tips, I used only one book and I studied for about 2 weeks straight. 0 loans. If you're gonna take their money, they don't want you to take their money and run. I was burnt out. Use your anger and your aggression and your frustration and your disappointment constructively to take you to the next level. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I will be discussing how to become a nurse practitioner. So if you're interested in being a nurse or a nurse practitioner, stay tuned, and I do have some very exciting news at the end of the video, so make sure you watch till the end. As you know, my mantra is the ultimate luxury unboxing is your success. I love bags, I love shoes, I love jewelry, I love to travel, but I just feel like your degree, your success, your trials and tribulations, your testimony, I feel like that is the ultimate unboxing. It's like the gift that never stops giving. You tell your story, and not only do you benefit because you are where you want to be in life and you can get the things that you desire, obtain the things that you want, but you also inspire others to go ahead and do that as well. So yeah, that's where I get the ultimate luxury unboxing is your success. Let's start off with the role of a nurse practitioner. So I'll just reintroduce myself. My name is Natalie, and I am an adult geriatric primary care nurse practitioner. So I'm only licensed to take care of adults and older, so that would be 18 years of age and older. I do not cover the entire lifespan, okay? And I do work in the primary care setting, so that is outpatient in a clinic. So the role of a nurse practitioner. So basically, I wholeheartedly manage the care of patients, okay? So I assess, I diagnose, I prescribe, I refer patients out, I coordinate care, I interact with the interdisciplinary team to bring forth positive patient outcomes. And no, I am not a PA, I am not a physician, I am a nurse practitioner. But in the state of New York, we have a lot of autonomy, and in other states as well. And we can have, I can open my own practice, we can practice independently, we can collaborate with a doctor if we wish to. And yeah, so, and it is considered an advanced practice nurse. So it is, you know, further education than a registered nurse. So how to get started. Alrighty, so you can either be master prepare or bachelor. Backing on up. So you can either be master prepare or doctorate prepare. I have my MSN, a Master's of Science in Nursing, and you can either have that or go ahead and go for your doctorates. So basically, you need to become a registered nurse prior to becoming a nurse practitioner. It is a prerequisite. So basically, I became a registered nurse first, and then I applied to nurse practitioner school. And once I completed nurse practitioner school, I was rewarded a Master of Science in Nursing. That's where the MSN comes in. Then I had to pass my boards in order to become a nurse practitioner. So I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about my nursing journey. So I did 4 years at an undergraduate school, Hunter College in New York City, and became a registered nurse after 4 years. And then I went back for another 2.5 years to become a nurse practitioner. So it took me a total of 6.5 years. So there are certain programs that I believe Columbia University in New York City, they have a bridge program where you apply in straight from high school. Oh, you can apply to the program and it bridges you. So you would get your RN, and then from your RN to your NP, and it's like an NP program where they bridge you. You get your RN degree and then your NP degree in one application. You do that in one application. Me, however, it was 2 separate applications. I did first my undergrad, and then I went to become a nurse practitioner. Now, I'm getting quite a few questions about people that already have a bachelor or a master's degree. So in nursing, they have what they call a post-bac program, meaning you already have a degree, a bachelor's degree, and you want to enter into the nursing route. So it's a post-bac program where you can become an RN first. They honor some of your credits, and it's a very fast track program, very intense, very fast. I believe it's about 2 years. It could be a little bit less, but 2 years max, and you become a nurse. And they do honor some of the core classes that you did take in your other degree. And then from there, once you become an RN, then you would apply to a nurse practitioner program. I completed my nursing degrees with 0 loans. I will repeat that, 0 loans. And so I did go to, I believe that's a flex. I did go to public school. So I went to Hunter College. The tuition was about $2,500 each semester for 4 years. So that was a total of maybe 20 grand over a 4-year span. And luckily I didn't have to take out loans to afford that, fortunately. So after doing the 4 years, then I was working for a facility, and after a year of working at that facility, which is a hospital, they paid for me to go back to school as long as I worked full time. That's the caveat. So you have to work there a year, then they would pay, and then you have to be full time. Now, once you complete your degree, bear in mind, if you're going to take their money, they don't want you to take their money and run. They want you to at least work for them for a year before you can leave the hospital, or else you have to give them back the money. So just bear that in mind. But because my tuition was very low undergrad, and I did go back to Hunter College for my nurse practitioner degree, and that did help to cut down the costs. And yeah, that's pretty much how you become a nurse practitioner. It does require a lot of time, dedication, and sacrifice, not only in your studies, but when you actually do become a nurse, because it's a lot mentally, physically. It's very taxing, but it is very rewarding, especially when your patients appreciate what you do for them. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about my nursing journey. So just to motivate anyone who feels discouraged or feel like they don't have a high enough GPA, or feel like I'm just going to share my story. All right, so I went to Hunter College in New York City. And it's a 4-year program, but the first 2 years are prerequisites, and then you apply to the nursing program. So you are not automatically granted admission into the nursing program, which can be very stressful. And honestly, I do not recommend that. I feel like if you can I would rather be in a nursing program, be accepted into a nursing program off jump, like immediately, and just have to maintain my grades, versus apply to a school that you do prerequisites and then you're not guaranteed to get into the nursing program. You have to apply and you may not get in, and then you have to figure out where you have to go. Like, I had to apply once I got there. So let's just say New York City public school does not prepare you for college. I literally had to learn how to sit there and read and focus and teach yourself. A lot of college, I feel like, is self-taught. People don't talk about this enough, but a lot of college is self-taught. I felt like I feel like professors literally just tell you what to study, and then you go home and study it. So I wasn't used to that in New York City public school, because you essentially get spoon-fed. So my first year of college, my GPA was a 2.67, or Hunter College's nursing program was highly, highly competitive. You had to at least have a 3.0 to get into the nursing program, but because it's very affordable, it's very competitive, and the average person has like a 3.8 or higher. So basically, if I wanted to get into this nursing program, I needed to like ace everything. Like, I needed to like really buckle down from this, and I just took extra classes. I took winter classes, summer classes, just to help my GPA increase. And I actually ended up doing pretty well. Like, I was getting A pluses and A's. So by the time it was time for me to apply to the nursing program, I had a 3.3 GPA. And the rumor had it, like, everyone was saying, like, fellow classmates and deans and everyone, you know, advisors were saying, like, listen, if you don't have at least a 3.8, you should not apply to a nursing program. And I was literally looking to other schools, seeing who would transfer my credits. I'm like, I'm not gonna get in. I was so discouraged. I was so devastated. I feel like nursing school, I cried, or just undergrad, it was the most I ever cried in my life. And to cut a long story short, I had a boyfriend at the time, God bless him, and he was like my #1 supporter. And basically he told me, like, listen, you work so hard, there is no way they're not going to accept you into their program. I'm like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what the, you know, what the word is at school. He's just saying that because he has to. Like, he's my boyfriend, what else is he going to tell me? And he literally said, Natalie, just apply. What's the worst that can happen? Apply. And I can honestly tell you that I wasn't going to apply to it because I just felt like I didn't even want to waste my time or embarrass myself. I was just like, it's just not worth it. I'm not going to apply. Honey, I applied to the nursing program, got into the nursing program. It was honestly God. I applied, I got in, and it was one of the happiest days of my life. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in the computer lab and I didn't cry, but I almost cried. Like it was pretty intense. And so it goes to show you, like, you can't listen to the crowd. You know, if you know you put in the work, just go for it. And honestly, I think if I were to think what really made me get accepted, I don't think they looked solely at the fact that I had the 3.3. I think they looked at after my first year, I was able to bounce back. Like, it was very evident that I struggled with transitioning to college, but once I got into it, I was like getting A's, A minuses, B pluses. So I think that's what really helped me. So yeah, like, go for it. Even when it feels like no and everyone's saying no and you're not a candidate and you're not eligible, you know, you put in the work and go for it. I would totally go for it. So anyway, fast forward, I get into the nursing program. And then I graduated in 2014 May. Got my first nursing job October of 2014. I stayed there for a year. Then in 2016 I started working at my job in Manhattan, and then I worked there for a year. I worked there for about a year or two. I want to say maybe 2 years, about a year, 2016, 2017. Yeah, about a year. So I started in 2016 and then I worked there for a year. So 2017, September of 2017, I got it. So once I made a year, which was January 2017, I started looking into schools. And then I was applying because most of the deadlines are around May if you want to start in the fall, which is September. So I got accepted to Hunter, and then what did I do? And then I started in September 2017, and I graduated in January 2020, right before the pandemic. Now, my program was supposed to be 3 years, so I was supposed to graduate in May 2020, but I thought 3 years was way too long for a master's degree. Like, if I was getting a doctorate, I would have been like, okay, fine, like, okay, it makes sense. But I don't know, 3 years sounds pretty long to get a master's. So what I did was, because undergrad kind of conditioned me to kind of always be in school, always taking classes, just knock it out, I basically did the same thing. Like, I took winter classes, summer classes, I doubled up. I like messaged the deans, can I take, like, some classes were prerequisites to another. I was like, listen, can I take both classes at the same time? I was just trying to get my prereqs before the clinicals part comes in. I was like, please, I just need to take classes, get this out of the way. And I got the approvals and I took all my classes. And instead of, I ended up I didn't graduate a year. I wanted to finish in 2 years, but I finished in 2.5 years. So I actually was able to graduate a semester early, which was so good because I graduated January 24th, 2020. Then I studied for about a month. I graduated January. I studied for about a month-ish, like, I would say like a month about, and then like the first week of March I took my boards, and then COVID happened. So it was like amazing. It just worked out. Like, the ambition just worked out. It just worked out. Like, God just always had my back. It worked out. Yeah, so don't be afraid. Like, if you feel like you can handle it, don't be afraid to take extra classes if it's going to help you graduate early, if you're about that life, like if that's something you want to do. I recommend either doing psych NP or family nurse practitioner, because you'll just be more marketable when you cover the entire lifespan. For example, you could work in an urgent care and emergency department because you cover the whole lifespan. So I would recommend doing family nurse practitioner over I recommend doing family nurse practitioner versus adult-geriatric nurse practitioner. That's my recommendation. All right, and if you want to go for the big bucks, I would go into psych NP. Don't say I never said it. I warned you. What kept me motivated in nursing school? So I used to work at Wendy's when I was in school. So working at Wendy's literally motivated me to make sure not only that I completed my degree, but that I passed my NCLEX. So literally, I used to work on the drive-thru, and I've told the story on my TikTok before, but I'll say it again. But literally, I was like inside of Wendy's, servicing customers on the drive-thru. And I would literally see the nurse, and I worked at a Wendy's in Long Island in Oceanside. So I would literally see like the girls, like the cute girls with their lashes done, and like they had the new iPhone, the big body Benz. I think one of them had a CLS, nice Benz, and Mercedes Benz, and they would come in their little uniform. I don't know if they were doctors, but I just assumed if they were in uniform that they were nurses. They would literally come in and they would order like a number one, like off the meal menu. And you know, back when I was going to school, I was a dollar menu girl. Literally, they would come in and they would order like, can I get a number one medium with a Sprite, with the chicken nuggets on the side? And I'm like, dang, like, you know, they would upgrade their meals, and I'm like, wow. And you know, so it was just so motivating to see like healthcare professionals, or who I deemed healthcare professionals, you know, able to afford something off of the menu, off of the meal menu, not the dollar menu. They came in with a Mercedes Benz, they had their little cute, the new iPhone, and hair done, lashes done. I'm like Natalie. So I literally had to talk to myself like, Natalie, are you going to be stuck inside Wendy's, or are you going to be outside with them living that lifestyle? So literally that really motivated me to really study hard after school, after graduating, to make sure I passed my NCLEX, which I did pass, obviously. And then once I became a nurse, you know, the ultimate goal from the beginning was to be a nurse practitioner. But when you're a nurse and you're making your great money, making your overtime money, your good money, and you know, undergrad really kind of traumatized me a little bit. Like, it was really hard. It was very stressful. Again, I cried a lot. Like, mentally, I thought to myself, like, if this is undergrad, I can't imagine what a master's degree is while working. I was like, nah, I'll pass. Like, I'm good. This bachelor degree, like, I'm the first one in my household to have a bachelor's degree. I'm good. Mama, I made it. I'm good. But I can honestly say that my nurse practitioner degree was way easier than my undergrad degree. And it's just about time management. You're already seeing things in practice. You have the foundation of being a registered nurse. That knowledge goes a long way. It's just really time management, because now you're working 3 days a week full time if you are gonna have your facility pay for it. So you have to work full time, and then your other 4 days off, you have to maintain yourself and your mental health, but also go to school, go to clinical. So it's a lot of time management, but the work itself is not, by no means, difficult at all. Okay, and then what really motivated me to really get jumpstart my nurse practitioner career is I was burnt out. I mean, I love my job as a nurse. I have so many amazing stories in my nursing career. I've attended a patient's funeral. I've attended a patient's wedding. I have amazing stories, amazing connections. You know, I love nursing, but there comes a point when you get burnt out. Instead of becoming angry and disgruntled and potentially taking out your anger on your patients, why don't you put that anger into, you know, doing what you came here for. Like, use the hospital for everything it's worth. Don't, you know, and I never wanted to be that angry, disgruntled nurse. Just give yourself options and have the hospital pay for those options. So that's when I decided to apply to go back to school. And, you know, and it's by far one of the best decisions I've made in my life. I love being a nurse practitioner. And it's so weird. Like, if you're burnt out and you're in nurse practitioner school, a lot of things started not bothering me because I knew I had a plan. I knew I had my exit, and a lot of things of the floor, because I knew I wasn't here. I was here for a good time, not a long time. So it just didn't really bother me as much. So yeah, so use, just like I was able to use my frustrations at working at Wendy's to make sure I finished my NCLEX, and then when I was burnt out as a nurse, I used that to help channel me or to fuel me into being a nurse practitioner. You have to, you know, use your anger and your aggression and your frustration and your disappointment constructively to take you to the next level, so you can level up, and so that, you know, you can be happy mentally, and, you know, you can live the life you deserve. Now for the exciting news. Okay, guys, so like I mentioned before, I graduated January 2020. Took my boards March 2020. COVID hit shortly after the world shut down. And as you know, my degree was primary care. So the primary care setting shut down as well. So that means that I'm applying for jobs that are basically non-existent because everything is acute care, emergency only during COVID, right? So that was quite discouraging. Like, wow, Natalie, of course you had to choose the healthcare setting that would be shut down. So, and then at this point, you know, I'm burnt out as a med-surg nurse. So once the hospital kind of already weathered the first wave of COVID and we really got a hang of how to handle it, I decided to apply for the ICU. I was like, I can't deal with this. You know, the patients are sicker. You have like a 6 to 7 patient load. The bulk of them are extremely critical. You're always calling RRT, rapid response, and the patients are just, the acuity is going up. And I was like, if I'm going to be dealing with this acuity, send me to the ICU. Send me to the ICU. I'm going to work in ICU. So basically I applied to the ICU. Luckily, I was able to get into the ICU because, as you know, a lot of us melanin nurses do not get into specialty areas. We are stuck on the med-surg floor, so I was really happy about that. And let's just say I've been in the ICU for 2 years. 1 year in, so for my first year into the ICU, I landed my first nurse practitioner job, and which was full-time. So I did accept the full-time nurse practitioner job, but I do work in the ICU part-time, and so my total ICU experience would be a total of 2 years. So recently I took my CCRN test, which is the critical care registered nurse, a certified critical care registered nurse. I took it about a week ago and I passed. Congratulations. That test was 150 questions, and the NCLEX, I finished at 75. The NP exam, I believe it was like 100, maybe like 100-ish. Don't quote me. I don't remember exactly how many questions the NP exam was, but this CCRN by far was like the most difficult. Like, I felt like I was pushing out a baby. When I pressed submit, I didn't know if I passed or failed. Like, I had a feeling I passed, but I had a feeling that I didn't pass, and I knew what material I would focus more on if I didn't pass. But it was quite traumatic. But I passed. I'm so happy. So and as you know, if you ever want to be a CRNA, which is a nurse anesthetist, a lot of programs do require you to have that test. So it's just another option if I ever choose to go that route. So if anybody wants me to share study tips, I used only one book and I studied for about 2 weeks straight. So if you want me to share some study tips for this passing the CCR, just let me know. But yes, I am unboxing more certifications and more degrees, so I'm really happy about that, and I want to help you guys do that as well. So in closing, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my nursing journey, my breakdown about how to become a nurse practitioner. And yes, you will become a nurse practitioner. Whatever you put your mind to, you will become. So if you want to be a nurse or a nurse practitioner, a CRNA, if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a musician, a rapper, whatever it is you want to be, you will become that, okay? You will unbox your destiny, your dreams, and your goals. But like I said, if you want me to share how I passed my CCRN, let me know. If you want me to share how I passed the nurse practitioner test, I did take the ANCC, which is the more recognized exam for the nurse practitioner, and I did take that one, so I am board certified. If you want me to share how I did pass that test, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to do a video about that. This video is already kind of long and I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, so love you loads, and just request what you want me to have in my next video. But I do plan on definitely giving study tips for passing the nurse practitioner exam. If you want study tips on passing the CCRN, I will definitely drop that. And I do really want to talk about dealing with the loss, the death of a patient. Like I said, I used to work in med surg, and now I work in the ICU setting part-time, and patients die very quickly, very rapidly in the ICU, and I had to learn how to deal with that. That was a big adjustment because I wasn't used to that on the med surg floor. So, you know, for any ICU nurse or anyone planning to go to the ICU, or if any nurse works in a setting where patients are dying quickly, just rapidly, or high turnover, or high rate of death of patients passing away, I do want to give some tips on how or just share my story on how I was able to, or how I am dealing with it, because it is a process and it's not easy. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you.